Liz McDade, a huge Columbo fan and a small business owner living in Santa Cruz, California. And this is my brother.
I'm Paul McDade, an actor and editor working in the television and film industry here in Los Angeles.
And this is Trenchcoat Cigar Peugeot, Wandering with Columbo. In each episode, we'll bring you a little Hollywood history, glamour, and behind the scenes as we walk you through Columbo, one of America's greatest TV detective series.
Yay!
Yay! So today we're talking about Short Fuse. This is season 1, episode 8, and it first aired January 19th, 1972. Now I have a little synopsis here, Paul. You want to hear this?
Yeah.
A young chemical expert named Roger Stanford plants a bomb in his uncle's limousine inside a cigar case and tries to make it look like a car accident. And he wanted to kill his uncle because his uncle was blackmailing Roger to push him out of this family business. Roger wants to maintain a role in his family's chemical plant business and stay in his aunt's good favor. So Columbo's got to unravel the mystery of this car accident to solve this one. Did I leave anything out of the little summary there?
No, that sounds about right.
Okay. And we have a drink and a snack for each of our shows. This episode's drink and snack is either some kind of bourbon or whiskey or iced tea and popcorn.
Yeah, I just did water. I didn't want to make any tea. I got the popcorn though.
Nice. Yeah, I made so we're recording this in January, and I am doing dry January where you avoid alcohol for the month.
Yeah.
And so I'm having an iced tea. It's actually a decaf chai that I made earlier today, and I just put it in the fridge.
How is it?
Oh, it's good. Yeah, and I poured it over ice, and I put it in these cool like tumbler glasses that you would use for a fancy cocktail. So it feels a little more special.
Yeah. Where'd you get the chai from?
It's just generic, like grocery store tea bags.
Okay.
Yeah.
I put some seasoning salt on the popcorn. That's really good.
Yeah. Tell me about your popcorn. How did you make it?
Just air pop and a little olive oil and then seasoning salt. And it's pretty good. Like I
made mine Oh man, I love it too. I made air popped popcorn. I melted a little vegan butter, Earth Balance, and then I sprinkled nutritional yeast and salt on top. And it's good. Do you guys ever put nutritional yeast on your popcorn?
Mm-hmm. Oh, St. John does. My wife.
Yeah,
you know who she is, right?
Man, I love it. I know who she is. I remember her. I remember her name. So the opening of this show, this episode, is Roger Stanford, played by Roddy McDowall, in his dark room, and he's making a bomb with cigars, or he's like turning cigars into a bomb. And it's just like him in there alone, some cool music. I did note there were some cool angles of photography in this scene. They kind of like filmed him from under his like magnifying glass and some other cool shots in there.
Yeah, it seemed to match the music. Gil Millet, however you pronounce his name, I really like his sort of experimental 70s sort of sound. Like when he's looking through the big lens thing, you can see his teeth kind of moving, and the music does like this weird little sound that kind of match the movement of his teeth for a second. But
oh wow, I didn't notice that. But I also made a note about the music. I thought Gil Mel or whatever, Mallet, did a really great job with music.
Yeah.
In this episode. I did look at his work a little bit, and he's done a lot of different composing for film and TV. I didn't do much of a deep dive, but...
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah. Oh, and then, I don't know, you'll talk more about Roddy McDowall, Paul, but there was a trivia on the where I was watching this on Amazon that said that Roddy McDowall was actually famous for his photographs of other celebrities and actors.
Oh.
So this is like
cool. I didn't know
a little
that.
callback. Yeah, it's like a little callback to what he actually did, which I thought was kind of cool.
Yeah, he's a super creative actor. He's been an actor since he was a kid. He was in like the first Lassie movie as the lead.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Yeah, he was one of these child actors at MGM. They had a handful, like Mickey Rooney, Elizabeth Taylor, who Roddy McDowall became really good friends with and starred in Cleopatra with her. He seemed to hold it together, you know. It seemed like some of the, in terms of what you see sometimes.
From child actors?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Well, that's just a short opening scene. And then the next scene, we see him on a little orange go-kart traveling around this giant chemical plant. And he's got some pretty cool 70s clothes on, some tight bell-bottom pants and a matching jacket, some short boots, and then a white button-down shirt with flowers on it.
Burton Miller.
Yeah, Burton Miller, man, doing it again. And there's not a lot happening here, but we get a sense for Roger Stanford's personality in this scene, the way he's driving the go-kart and he tossing a can around of something in his hands. And he's just kind of like a casual, goofy kind of guy. Oh, and I had to look at where this was filmed. So it was filmed in Torrance, California. Do you know what Torrance is, Paul?
Yeah. I actually went down there and took pictures.
Oh, yay. Awesome.
Yeah, I sent them to you.
What's it like down there? Oh, okay.
It's closer to the beach, I think. We just went down there to look at the actual plant. It's huge. It is massive. Now it's, split up a bunch of different companies. I don't know if it was ever just one company, but yeah, very, industrial, suburban, we've been down there before, and I want to say that I had a job at Manhattan Beach. We couldn't really stop. So the pictures I sent you, I gave you the best ones, but they're not great.
Okay. That's okay. We'll put them on our Instagram. So go there to see them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was filmed on Hawthorne Boulevard, Torrance, California. And now this address that they had on IMDb is now Arkema Coating Resins. But it sounds like there's a lot of businesses at that spot. So
yeah,
I don't know how many there are, but this new business makes coatings, adhesives, and construction products. So still a very industrial spot for sure. So we move on and we're in the secretary's office. It seems to be the secretary's office. There's lots of women typing at typewriters. They've got cute scarves around their necks. Someone's wearing a green cardigan. Someone's wearing a pink psychedelic dress. There's one male secretary, which I thought was somewhat progressive. So Roger comes in and sprays silly putty on everybody and causes a ruckus. And the male secretary tries to play it cool in this moment, like, oh, the big boss kid is here, no big deal. But there's another secretary who's on the other side of a door. She opens her office door and calls him in, looking kind of disappointed and frustrated with him. And I forget her name now. I actually took notes on this episode like a week or so ago.
Valerie Bishop.
Valerie Bishop, right. And Valerie Bishop, she, I just want to make a quick note about her costume. She's dressed very professional, but she does have on a couple of cool accessories like a gold belt and a big gold necklace. So Valerie talks to Roger. She's worried about some photos that Roger took of her, and she's wondering what he was doing in the dark room, what he was doing with the photos. So we get a sense here that there's something romantic going on between these two, and she may have let him compromise her values for a moment at some point. And this is the scene where Roger takes some cigars out of his uncle's coat pocket while Valerie is not looking.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add about that scene, Paul?
Yeah, so Silly String, that was invented that year by Whammo.
Oh, wow.
And so the male secretary says, Roger, did you invent this? And so it lets you know that he can invent things, that he's, he's a smart person.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But he's also very strange in terms of abusing his power and just
Yeah.
spray, because he doesn't seem to like appreciate what he's doing at all. They're just sort
Yeah.
of like not frightened, but just like, why are you doing this?
Yeah, totally.
They don't really. They just stare at him, and they're he's the owner, the guy who created the place. That this is the son of that guy. They all
Yeah.
know who he is. So
Yeah. That's a tough spot to be in as an employee. Yeah. So the next scene is Roger's uncle's office. And the uncle, I thought this was hilarious. His uncle has a photo of himself on his desk. It's just himself, not him and his wife or, any other people. It's just a photo of himself. And it's one of those weird, like old fashioned style, like color touched up photos, like pre-filter, pre-Instagram filter, like you could do some weird color shading. It's very bizarre.
It might have been one of his headshots.
Oh yeah.
As an actor.
Do you think they would have done that color touch up stuff for headshots?
Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe not. But I've noticed that in episodes, I don't know if it's just Columbo, but I always wondered, like, did they get this photograph from, but maybe they did it all just for, but he looks a lot younger, so I'm not sure.
Yeah.
It could be as simple as, hey, James, do you have any photos we can use of you in a portrait,
Yeah, totally. A headshot makes sense. Well, anyhow, this is the scene where Roger's uncle shows him that he's got a bunch of dirt on him, that Quincy, his chauffeur, who's also a private eye, has dug up, and that this is a bunch of embarrassing information that his aunt would not want to see. So Uncle and Quincy tell Roger that he has to resign tonight. Otherwise, they're going to tell the aunt all this embarrassing stuff.
Roger, played by Roddy McDowall, I like how he says, he talks about his uncle as if he's not there to Quincy. Like, Quincy, why do you ever put up with him? And blah, blah,
Yeah.
As if DL is not there.
Yeah, it is kind of cool. And Roger says, okay, I'll resign. I want to spare my aunt. And of course, we know that is not actually true. But he tells his uncle this, so his uncle is reassured. So we move on. Next scene, the uncle's heading out. Oh, I think I might have skipped that. Roger goes out to the uncle's car and distracts the man who's tending to the car, who's like washing it or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
He distracts him and he sneaks into his uncle's car and takes out more cigars or swaps out the box that he has been tampering with. And so then we see the uncle in this car being chauffeured by Quincy, and they're on a really windy road in a thunderstorm. It's kind of terrifying scene, actually. Driving on this like crazy little mountain road in a crazy rainstorm. And we also see that Junior and Valerie Bishop, the secretary, are having drinks at a nightclub called Narcisse.
Mm-hmm.
And I Googled it. I could not find a record of an old nightclub.
Me too.
Yeah. But it was like a total 70s nightclub. There were go-go dancers and
in cages.
In cages. And we get to hear more of the music by Gil Mallet. It's like a cool, jazzy, funky guitar in this scene. And so it's kind of an interesting like overlapping or an overlaying of scenes. We see Junior and Valerie at the club with the music and the dancers while the car is on this windy road, kind of crazy rainstorm. And then there's an explosion. So it's just kind of a cool, I thought it was kind of a cool moment that they created there, mixing those two.
Yeah, I thought that when the music first started at the club, there's scenes where you see their mouths moving and they're talking, and the cutting doesn't quite match the music. But then there are times when it really does match. So I thought it was kind of an odd. Like the first time I saw it, I liked the sort of jazziness to it, and then the second time I saw it, it seemed more rock to me for some reason.
Mm.
But there were moments where I was like, the editing, it's almost like they just put the music on top in certain areas, but then it gets better with the cutting going back and forth. It got a little stronger. because you just hear the music. You don't hear sound effects. You don't hear what they're saying, but you see their mouths moving, which I always find okay. It depends on, the movie or the TV show.
Yeah.
So I was a little mixed on it. I liked that it was different. It was very different for Columbo that so far for me.
Yeah.
So part of it was really great. And some of it was just, like goes on too long, like nothing. They're talking. It's just music over their talking.
Yeah. Well, and
but at the end, the second half of it was better.
Yeah. And I'm sure we'll talk about this, but I mean, I think what you're capturing there is this, in my opinion, is not one of the stronger Columbos ever created. And I don't know exactly what was happening with this one, but I think maybe moments like that kind of take the viewer away for a bit.
Yeah. This episode has a lot of things as we go. I'll point out some more stuff.
Yeah. All right. So Junior drives home in his car. Did you recognize this car, Paul?
No. What kind of car is that?
It is another Ferrari 365 GTB /4 Daytona. So this
is the same as in the last one.
The same fancy car, but a different color. That was in the last episode we watched, Lady in Waiting. So in that one, she had this like really beautiful blue, and this I think is silver. He had a silver one.
Yeah.
But,
kind of a gray.
A gray, okay. But yeah, like this is like crazy fancy car, and if you wanted to get one vintage from this year, today it's valued, like I mentioned before, at over $600,000 for this car. It's just crazy to me.
You guys gonna get that?
Yeah, I think so. Probably for Mother's Day.
Yeah.
I deserve it, Paul. It is hard being a mom. Okay.
Yeah, I think you should.
Get me a car like this. It's got to be worth at least $500,000 if you want to really say you love someone.
Yeah, I love this woman. Here you go, honey.
I love you this many dollars worth, honey.
Like those diamond ads with the guys in the middle of Paris, and he's, I love this woman. Give the gift of diamonds.
Exactly. So Junior drives home in his $600,000 car, although I don't think I wonder if I should have written down its original value relative to, the value of the dollar back then.
Yeah.
It's a very fancy car, but I imagine it's gone up a lot because it's so vintage and rare now. But anyhow, drives home. He lets himself into someone else's apartment and starts typing something. And this is Quincy's apartment, the chauffeur / private eye. And he's in there for a bit. And as he's leaving and locking up, Columbo interrupts him.
Mm-hmm.
And Columbo's like, are you... I forget exactly what Columbo's opener is.
Yeah.
But Junior has to make up a lie on the spot, and he says he saw a light on. That's why he's in the apartment. And so I wonder if this is the first moment where Columbo's kind of on to this guy, that, maybe there's something going on. This is about 20 minutes in when we finally meet Columbo. So Columbo's there, and he says, we got to go to the aunt's house. She's concerned. So here we are in the aunt's house, and I didn't write down her name. She's a Stanford, but she's married to DL, so she must change.
Ida Lupino. Yeah, and her, I watched some of her films. She was a director too, actually.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so she's a very successful actress and director. Doris Buckner. Yeah, so he was David L. Buckner, DL, and she's Doris Buckner.
Okay. Well, she returns in a later Columbo with Johnny Cash.
That's right.
She plays a very different kind of person in that one. And this one, she's like a concerned, loving wife and aunt.
Mm-hmm.
And that one, when we get to it, she's very different. She's kind of cruel. Anyhow, she looks amazing. She has this beautiful dress on. It has like a short priest type collar. It's like very much like rich lady clothes, like sleeves that go wide at the wrists, made out of this like sky blue with glitter and circles, like this tunic. I don't know. She looked really, really great.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Cool. She had this cool gold brooch with a turquoise stone in the center and matching earrings. Anyhow, Columbo explains that DL's wife / Roger's aunt,
Doris Buckner,
got a message from her uncle. She's very concerned. She got this message. He hasn't called her from the cabin yet. That, uncle was on that windy road heading up to a cabin. And the uncle's talking about cigars in the background. Columbo notices that Roger is checking his watch a lot during this message. The aunt is very worried that he hasn't made it there, and Roger's trying to calm her. And Columbo asks, is everything good between your aunt and your uncle?
It's the Codaphone is the name of that answering machine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I didn't look it up, but I just noticed that's the brand name.
Is that like an early one or something?
Must be, yeah. Must be like a very, very, early one.
Yeah. Yeah, normally I make a note about the technology. I must have forgotten to write that down.
You're slipping, Liz.
I am. What the heck?
Hey, you know what? Peter Falk sounds like he has a cold. Like he partied too hard, and now he's got a cold the next day. And did you notice?
Either. No.
Yes. Listen. Yeah, it's the first half, and like all these scenes, with these two scenes we see him in so far, he's got this nasally, stopped up nose sound.
Okay, I'm gonna have to go back, watch it again, or at least that scene. So I made a note here about the set decoration. I want to be like blown away. I want to be like whisked into this really cool place when I'm watching these shows. And I found it a little disappointing. This set it's fancy, but it's a little bit dark and a little bit beige and yellow. And it doesn't feel as glamorous as some of the other sets. I just did a quick look at the set decoration, and it was a different person who did this episode. Someone named Charles S. Thompson. The previous set decoration for all the shows was done by someone named Richard Friedman. And Charles Thompson did this episode and the next episode. These were the only two done by him for all of Columbo. This was near the end of his career. He did have a long career. But I think maybe I just resonate more with the previous set decorator than with this one, because this episode and the next episode to me have a similar feeling of like not being quite as like bright and intriguing and inviting.
Yeah, it actually looks like the same set as Ransom for a Dead Man.
It is.
Yeah, right.
It is. Yeah,
with the walls, and so if you're going to be the set decorator, you're going to want to really move that around, right? Or change things. Mm-hmm. And again, maybe, Edward Ambrose, the director, who is usually the editor, but he ended up doing a lot of directing of things. TV is a really quick turnaround. That said, Columbo, Levinson, and Link, they were there for the edits and the preview screenings, and they did everything. So that's what I think made the show so good. But perhaps they had less of a time frame, or maybe they had more pressure.
Mm-hmm.
Columbo had a cold. I mean, there's a lot of things going on.
Totally. That's a good point. Yeah, it's interesting because on IMDb, it says that this episode was filmed at 259 St. Pierre Road in Holmby Hills. Mm-hmm. Which is another huge home, 7-bedroom, 9-bath, 8,500 square feet, 2+ acres, valued at $18 million right now, built in 1926. But like you said, this is not filmed on St. Pierre Road. This is the same house from Ransom for a Dead Man, which was filmed at 10,644 Bellagio Road. I recognized it, and so I was like, is it the same? So I went back and I actually like grabbed, froze it in that living room scene, and it is the same house. Yeah. What were you going to say, Paul?
Well, the exteriors, I mean, maybe they're talking about where Quincy had his apartment.
Yeah.
Maybe they're referring to that location.
Yeah.
Because this could just be on Universal lot, this office room and then the big room, because it reminds me a lot of Lee Grant's, when she goes in the other room, things are changed around, obviously the desk and stuff, but those walls, those, I don't know what those things are. They look like shields, like white,
mm-hmm.
Looks like crown molding or something. It's like a circle on the middle of the wall.
Oh, so you think maybe this was just a set and not the interior?
Yes, that's what I think. I don't know. I haven't researched it. It just looks like it.
Interesting.
Because they did use that one in a Night Gallery episode I mentioned. So chances are, yeah, this is a set on Universal.
Aha. Paul, you are blowing my mind. I thought we were on Bellagio Road.
I mean, that's, I haven't read any books or anything, but it looks like it,
Okay.
Or talk to anybody.
That would make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Just to do a quick throwback to that Bellagio house. This is one of the most expensive houses in the U.S. right now. It was listed at $225 million in October.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Okay. Columbo seems to be a little suspicious here of, he's just observing, noticing things about Roger. And then, we don't really have any closure in this scene, but then we go to the next day. Columbo is in a tram, going above this big crevice or valley or whatever in the mountains. And he's looking very uncomfortable in this tram up in the sky. And a cop leads him to the wreckage of a car crash. So Columbo has to go up to the top of the mountain and then down to get to the car crash. And this is one of the moments where Peter Falk just does a really good job. He does a good job of looking very uncomfortable and miserable in this scene.
Yeah. It's great.
Mm-hmm, it's really good. It's a nice little moment there.
He has to wait and sort of pause as he comes out, and everything about it, like the guy's talking to him and he just doesn't want to talk.
Yeah, it's good. It's classic Columbo right there. So, we learn here that there has been a car. I mean, we knew, but now the world has now learned that there has been a car accident, and they are in the process of recovering the bodies from the crash. And the cop and Columbo have an interesting conversation about whether this was an accident or a bomb. And the cop seems to think it might have been a bomb and tells Columbo that, it's really his jurisdiction since they were coming from LA. So that sort of gets this investigation officially rolling. I don't know. Did you look at where this was filmed, Paul?
Yeah. Well, the tram, that's in Palm Springs or near Palm Springs. We were going to go to it, but they're closed right now.
Oh, you were? That would have been awesome.
Yeah. We're going to get pictures of that. That was the next little venture for me and the family.
Yeah. Well, it looks like a super beautiful place. It's, like you said, outside Palm Springs. It's called Mount San Jacinto.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess it'd be like a 2 or 3 hour drive from you guys, maybe 2 hours.
Yeah. Yeah, not too bad.
This episode is a little bit dreary in some regards, but it's also really fun to see Columbo outside and like really pretty, nature.
Yeah, I thought so too. I thought that really changes it up because he's walking around. Mm-hmm. And the sergeant, I thought, was a superb actor. I looked him up because he seems to really be on his side and has a real good sense of, respect for him. Mm-hmm. But he's also really smart. It's almost like a different story when the two of them are talking. I think they have 3 or 4 scenes at least together. Mm-hmm. And this guy had a huge career, the sergeant guy. Usually, his name is Steve Gravers, and he was in the Wild Wild West. He was in a movie called The Car, which I've always wanted to see, from 1977. It's supposed to be great. It's about this car that runs over people, I think, like Christine.
Oh. Uh-huh.
He's also in Wizards. He's it's an animated film by Ralph Bakshi, and he plays Black Wolf. And I want to watch that, project it and see that.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah, but yeah, he was probably a Universal person because he was in The Name of the Game, Wild Wild West, The Virginian, Bonanza.
Oh, wow.
I'm guessing Bonanza was Universal, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But no, I really thought he was great. Like, he's so believable in the scenes he has with Columbo. I really like and I think, like you said, being outside really helps the scenes with them, and they're just kind of talking to each other and trying to figure it out together. Because I don't remember a lot of episodes with Columbo where he is talking this many times and trying to get feedback from another law enforcement person.
Yeah.
Like you do in a lot of procedural shows,
Absolutely. Yeah. I can't offhand. I'm sure there's another one, but I can't think of one. But yeah, I also thought that this actor did a really great job. Like you said, very, very believable. I thought he was a great addition to the cast.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we leave the beautiful mountains of Palm Springs, and in the next scene, we're back at the family house. There's flowers all over the living room, so the news has clearly spread about Buckner. And Mr. Logan, who also works for the chemical plant and is a friend of the family, is talking with the aunt. And this is the same actor from episode 1.
Yes.
William Wyndham.
Yeah.
And so he does a good job. So in the first one, he plays like a district attorney, I think. And in this one, he's a regular attorney.
Mm-hmm. I think. And he's on Murder, She Wrote too.
Oh, that's right. And he went on to do Murder, She Wrote.
He's probably in another Columbo too.
I know. He'll probably pop up again. I'll be like, hey, there's William Wyndham again. Our old friend.
Yeah, let me see. So in Murder, She Wrote, he was in 53 episodes.
Wow, that's amazing.
And let's see. God, that guy worked in a lot of stuff. Phenomenal career. He was in Mannix. That was also, William Lincoln.
What's Mannix about?
As a cop. He was a cop. I think he was a private investigator, actually. He was a private investigator. Tarantino shows a clip of it in his Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I didn't see that movie, but everybody was telling me. It shows him only being in one Columbo, but he was in the other one. I remember. I guess because they don't consider that part of the series, like it's like a one-off movie.
Right.
Anyway.
The pilot.
Yeah.
Well, Doris, again, looks very regal. She looks very wealthy in her black dress with this big ruffle collar, pearl necklace, and earrings. I think I left out a little note from an earlier scene because when the uncle left that message, he says that he and Roger had a really good talk, and Roger's going to talk to her later about a decision that he's made. So she asked Roger that evening what the decision was, and Roger lied, saying that he was going to be in the legal department. He wanted to try out the legal department for a while instead of saying like, oh, I'm going to resign because I'm being blackmailed by your husband or whatever. And so in this scene where she's talking with her friend, she asks, oh, did you hear that David was going to put Roger in the legal department? And William Wyndham is like, oh, he looks a little bit like surprised. And then, there's the murmurings that maybe that DL was murdered. And that's very upsetting to Doris. And she's like, you don't think he was murdered, do you? And he's like, no.
Yeah.
But, this was kind of an interesting scene because I had this curiosity. I was like, is there going to be some kind of romantic spark between the two of them? Like, is Mr. Logan going to move in on Mrs. Buckner now that DL is gone? I don't know. Did you get that vibe at all, Paul?
No. The first time I saw this scene, so it cuts from Columbo being at the accident on the mountain, not the accident, but the car and the body and all that on the mountain. Or did they find the body yet? I don't think so.
Yeah, they were pulling up a body.
Oh yeah, Quincy's. That's right. So it cuts to or fades into a shot of flowers, but it's a really weird shot. It's like this extreme close-up of sort of the white flowers that she has, and you hear them talking, but the camera doesn't zoom out. It's like a fade in from Columbo, like sort of smirking, and you hear Everett Logan, played by William Wyndham, and her, and then it just cuts to them standing. So it's like this random shot of white flowers that I don't really see anywhere else in that shot.
Mm-hmm.
So I wondered if they just stole a shot from somewhere else and then because the film was unfocused, or the film wasn't actually catching right, or I don't know what. And then they did this straight cut to them talking, which makes me think they had one camera, one take.
Yeah.
So it's poorly done. Like it's just a random shot of these flowers, and then it cuts to them. It doesn't zoom out. It doesn't do any pan to the right or anything. It's just kind of like, it's a little odd. It works, it works for the general public and me, but well, maybe it doesn't work for me, but but it's weird. It's just like, I'm like, they were, stuck in time, and she holds up a picture of him that does look like it could be
a headshot
of some sort. Yeah.
No, I think I might have like noticed that in like just like a brief little blip, but not in the way that you notice it, because you're so like attuned to these things. But that's probably what, another reason why this episode isn't one of my favorites. It's just like a little bit, discombobulated at times, or there's something, that I'm not registering the way that you would register, but that it interrupts my ability to like really connect and really enjoy it. So it's neat to hear from your perspective, like why I might be feeling that way when I'm watching this. Well, in the next scene, we see Columbo has let himself into Roger's dark room, and he accidentally sprays himself in the face with the silly string, and Junior walks in on him at that moment, and yeah, they have a little chat there together. Let's see. I think Junior.
I was going to say one thing. There is when Columbo walks away from Roddy McDowall when they're at the aunt's house. Roddy McDowall, he asks, do you have any brothers and sisters? But he also asks about his parents, and he's like, no, they died in a freak explosion when I was in college. So part of me wondered, like, did he kill his parents? Because he is kind of psychopathic. He's like a psychopath.
Yeah.
They don't really go there, but it just made me like, both of his parents died in a freak accident at the plant,
I feel like that's another thing about this episode is that there's like these loose ends, or like, weird possible subplots. Like, was there romance between Logan and Doris? Did Roger kill his parents? Like stuff like that, where you're just like, what? What's going on here?
Yeah. What's strange is that, so the story was by Jackson Gillis, who's a big TV writer, and he wrote the teleplay, but the story was also written by a husband and wife team, Lester Pine and Tina Pine. They even won an award for writing from the Writers Guild for Claudine, which is a fantastic film from the 70s that a lot of people have written about, and Criterion Collection recently re-released it. But Daniel Pine, their son, is still alive. I think he works in documentaries. I'm not sure on that, but he gives a little commentary on Claudine. But they also wrote Poppy, another successful movie with Alan Arkin about a single dad in the ghettos, like in the poor area in New York, and maybe in the Bronx, I think, and his sons. That one's a little over the top, but they were really good writers when it came to family. But the people that they wrote about were people who were the lower class, and it's interesting that they are writing about the upper class. And I don't know how much time they had. I don't know how well they worked with all the other writers, Stephen Bochco and Jackson Gillis, and how much time they had. But it really seems like things did not work well, for this episode in terms of writing. Because like you said, it has all of these different things despite really strong writers.
Yeah, that's interesting. I wonder, maybe they just ran out of time. And this is the same length as some of the other episodes, right? It's probably maybe 15 minutes difference.
Yeah, it's over an hour and 15. Yeah. Is they usually that long? Or I
think they're usually like an hour and 30 maybe.
So maybe it's a little shorter. Maybe they had to
cut some of the scenes,
Maybe that's part of it. Yeah, maybe you're right.
Well, Columbo and Junior walk around the plant together, and Columbo is asking Junior if other staff didn't like his uncle, DL. And in this scene, Junior has on a pretty cool blue leopard print shirt with big puffy sleeves, like pirate sleeves, like from Seinfeld. Did you ever watch Seinfeld, Paul?
A little bit, yeah.
He goes on this talk show wearing like a puffy sleeved pirate shirt at the advice. I think it was like the advice of a girlfriend or something. Anyhow, Junior's wearing a medal, like a medal of honor that shows how smart he is, which I think is hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah, this scene when they're walking down at the chemical plant, they're walking down these stairs.
Mm-hmm.
The first take, the sync is off. So if you look closely, it doesn't match. What they're saying doesn't match their lips. It's sort of off. It's off several frames. It's off by like a few seconds. It's really bad. I don't know if it was the IMDb TV playback. I played it back 2 different times and it's the same result. And then the next scene when they're still walking down the stairs, it catches up and it's normal. But I also noticed this in another scene where there's lip flap from Anne Francis, who plays Valerie Bishop. It's the cutting. I mean, most people wouldn't recognize it. I didn't catch it the first time, but the second time I caught it.
Mm-hmm.
They tried to make the next scene, the next angle, match what she was saying before. So it kind of like a seamless cut, with the audio.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's the same reaction. So they keep that second reaction within the first shot. So it's interesting, though, because it's M. Abrams, the man who directed this. He's an editor. He edited the one with...
Death Lends a Hand? The one where the guy, it's like shown in his glasses what he's doing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he won the Emmy for that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, for editing. And you know what? He got nominated for directing for this one.
What? Yeah,
so...
no. The more you point out these little issues, I wonder, they ran out of time or money or both. And that's why there's some of this, like, I don't know.
I do think that they were trying for a lot in this one. Like, I think that the pacing when he goes in the tram and he gets out, it's as if you're waiting for more to happen, but they're really letting you breathe with Columbo, which you don't see a lot of unless he's with another interacting with a human, and it's kind of comical.
Yeah.
But here it's like him, and he's like you said, he's outside, and the music with the editing. I mean, there's a lot of strong stuff with this one.
Mm-hmm.
But let's keep going.
Okay, so next scene, Columbo and Junior are going around the plant, and now they go to the secretary's office, Valerie Bishop's office. She has this really cool plaid dress. I think it's like red and black plaid dress with a white collar and white cuffs. I think she's wearing clip-on earrings, which is interesting. And Junior's wearing that puffy shirt and tight pants.
Yes, it's my wife, St. John. She did not like that.
She didn't like his pants. Yeah, they're very
not tight. At all. She's like, I can't watch this.
Yeah, they are definitely too tight for today's standards. I guess they were really cool back then. But they talk about cigars and this idea that the cigars might have held the bomb, and Columbo's trying to find out were there any missing boxes or not. And I think she's not missing any. But next they go to the partner's office to Mr. Logan, the guy who was comforting Mrs. Buckner earlier. And it turns out that he is missing a box of cigars.
Mm-hmm.
And Logan is telling Columbo, like, whatever this is, can we please keep this out of the press? It's not good for the chemical plant or the business. We're trying to, do a possibly sell or whatever. And Junior's there taking photos the whole time. And in this scene, I just made a note about Mr. Logan's secretary has a really cool orange dress with yellow collar and yellow cuffs. So I really liked her look a lot.
Before they go to William Wyndham, Everett Logan's office, Roger, Roddy McDowell, he keeps sort of going back and forth with Columbo about, well, what makes you think it's this? Oh, so you think it's a bomb? He keeps giving him information, understanding that Columbo might guess that, being super smart, and so he goes along with it. But one thing, why couldn't the bomb have been underneath the car? Why would it have to be inside? Because they talked about the car being completely spotless and clean, and so it had to have been in something they brought in the car, like the cigar box. But why couldn't the bomb have been underneath the car? So that's something that kind of like the second time around, I was like, I guess you had to keep the plot going.
I mean, one of my thoughts on this whole thing was that the plot was just too complicated. It's like too many like points that you had to like make sure not to miss. So otherwise you'd be like, what? I mean, that was my experience.
Yeah, well, was Roger Roddy McDowall, was he sleeping with Anne Francis, or was she sleeping with William Wyndham? Or not William Wyndham, James Gregory, D.L. Buckner.
No, so this is the part of the plot that's so complicated. So Roger and Valerie were a couple. They were having an affair.
Okay.
And then he took photos of her in this relationship. What he does is, what do you call Photoshop, but like old school Photoshops photos of Valerie with his uncle to make it look like Valerie and the uncle were having an affair.
How do you know he was Photoshopping it?
Because, I mean, that's something that Columbo mentions near the end. So that anyone could have Photoshopped those photos. And the way that so if we skip ahead a bit, Roger goes to that apartment later on, and he is like waiting around there for the cops to show up. It's because he wants to get caught with these photos of the uncle. Like he wants to have that entered as evidence so that his aunt will be on his side and give everything back to him, back to Roger.
Yeah. Oh, see, I missed, that was missed on me. This Columbo mentions that at the very end, the Photoshop thing, or just with the cop, to the cop.
Oh, so it happens when they're in the tram in the very last scene, and Columbo's kind of breaking down the crime. Yeah, and he mentions something like, "Oh, anyone could have made those photos."
Gotcha.
Oh wait, it was Valerie. Yeah, it was Valerie with the uncle, not with Logan, right? But Roger tells his aunt that Logan knew too. So that he turns his aunt against Logan. He gets Valerie out of the state so she can never spill the true beans.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but this is
a lot of stuff going on.
This is what I'm saying. The plot is like way too complicated because it's like, what is happening in this scene? Why is he doing that? And it's almost like this should have been like a 2-hour movie where you could really like appreciate different twists and turns.
I wonder if there was a football game or a special report or something, that they had to air on television that kind of truncated the show.
Well, that's an interesting thought. What was happening January 19th, 1972? Maybe that was a big day for something. Yeah, but it's a complicated story. It should have been longer. They should have simplified, cut some of these plot points or whatever you call them. It was like too much to wrap your head around.
Yeah. I mean, you get it, but that was lost on me. The first time I saw that, I thought it was just the D.L. Buckner having the affair with his secretary.
And you thought it was a real affair.
Yeah.
See, I watched this I've probably seen this 3 times in my life, and it's still like the last time I was like, what? Oh, like it's still like, oh, that's what's going on here. It was a little confusing.
Yeah.
All right, so we don't want to skip over all of this, but But basically, I hate to complain too much about performances, but I did want to make a performance point. So we learned that Mr. Logan is missing a box of cigars. Columbo's wandering around, and in the next scene, Columbo's walking around the plant. Junior picks him up to give him a ride, and they talk about how they're trying to sell the business. And then there's another plot twist here where Quincy said that Logan was using Junior to get his aunt to block the sale. So not only do we have like the murder and whether or not, Roger's a member of the company, but then there's a sale in the air that they're trying to get rid of the company and who wants to sell, who doesn't want to sell.
Yeah, and he says Harry J. O'Neill. Who's Harry J. O'Neill?
Right. He says that Quincy had another identity, right? That Quincy had a secret identity as someone named Harry J. O'Neill, an Irishman. I don't know.
Yeah, but who was that? Like, why? You know what I mean? Like, it's confusing.
It's so confusing.
But I mean, didn't Roger plant that paper there in the Quincy's place?
Yes.
Yeah, so he wrote that all up. I mean, it's all fiction.
It's all fiction. I mean, I was even wondering, like, is the apartment fiction? Did Quincy really have a second apartment, or did Roger lease the second apartment in this other name and pretend that it was Quincy's? And like, put a
yeah.
But I think
that might make sense.
I mean, there was a photo there of Quincy, of Quincy and a woman, I think, on the desk. So maybe it was really.
Oh, that apartment, the second one. Yeah. I was talking about the back house with the garage.
Oh, yeah. That was Quincy's actual apartment. So
that's where he found that paper, though, right?
That's where Junior went in and typed it up.
Yeah.
Junior falsified that on Quincy's typewriter.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So confusing.
Yeah.
And then he planted it. So, well, let's just finish up this plant scene. Junior mentions this secret identity to Columbo. So Columbo's going to look into it. And then Columbo and Junior part ways. And then Junior is near the secretary's building, and she sees him and she runs up to him and says she's so worried about all this investigating about their relationship. And he tries to calm her, but he comes across as very selfish in this scene. And she comes across, she's not very believable I felt like in her, I don't know. I was kind of thinking, like, what would you say as a director if you saw your actor and they weren't quite getting there, and you were kind of like, ooh, you're acting too much, or I don't know what's going on.
So that's up to the director. I saw her in a movie called Bad Day at Black Rock, and it's a really good film. It's really cool. And she plays like a gas station owner, and it's this town of criminals. It's a small town that nobody stops in, and they kill a Japanese man and get away with it. And everybody knows that these thugs, played by Ernest Borgnine, Lee Marvin, that they killed this man. And so everybody lives in fear of the thugs who but it's just a small town. There's probably like, population 50 or 35 or something. But she has a small role in the film, and I thought she was great. And so in this, I was like, wow, she's like, she's kind of all over the place.
Yeah.
And within that's up to the director to help them. And so I don't know Ambrum's background. I understand the whole concept, but in terms of acting, obviously he didn't give her strong direction.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what kind of direction he gave, it's like, Gene Wilder, the guy who was in those Richard Pryor movies. Remember Gene Wilder?
Oh, yeah, I know Gene Wilder.
Yeah. So he did a film with Woody Allen, one of Woody Allen's first movies, Everything You Always Wanted to Know About Sex But Were Afraid to Ask. And he's got a great little weird scene, but he said Woody Allen would just go, like, I don't even know if he said action, and just sit behind the camera. And then they would stop, and then Gene would be like, how was that? And he's like, oh, that was good. It's good. And like, that was it. But he was just starting off. I think as he got more confidence or whatever. But it's you really have to, and it's not. I've directed a couple of Friends and stuff, but that's it.
Yeah.
So he could have in over his head a little bit, but he got nominated for an Emmy. So I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a little bit shocked by that for this episode. Yeah, I was thinking, like, I'm not a director. I have no idea. I'm not an actor either. So I don't know anything, but I could tell that something about her performance was off in this moment. And it just comes across as, I don't know, insincere or something that, she needed some better direction.
Yeah, it's not very natural.
It's not natural. Yeah, exactly.
Her first scene in the beginning is also kind of like that.
Mm-hmm.
And she's, like I said, she had a long, great career, and I want to watch more of her movies like the Satan Bug, yeah, I'll have to watch some more of her stuff.
Yeah, well, keep me posted on how she progresses. Okay, so Junior's kind of a jerk. He's like, "Oh, don't worry, you're gonna be fine." He drives off, and then we have another quick scene between Columbo and the cop out in the. I think they're back at the crash site, and they're talking about how it does appear suspicious. And then we go to Roger. So this is where the plot gets kind of confusing again. Roger is in this other apartment, not the first one that he broke into, but a second one. He's got a typewriter and he sets it up so it looks like Quincy typed up some documents himself for Mr. Buckner, for DL. Junior waits there until the cops come and purposefully makes a noise to set off a cop chase, and they catch him because he wants to be caught, and they catch him with a fake report in his hands. But yeah, like you point out, it's not super obvious that this is a fake report that he created. Like, it's all kind of confusing. But if we had our hands on the script or the play or whatever, we would know that that's what was happening. He has a fake report. The cops bring him home with this fake report. Mrs. Buckner's there and Columbo's there. And Mrs. Buckner's wearing like a matador jacket. She looks fabulous, yeah. I gotta say. I think Burton Miller had fun with her a bit, with her costumes. And Roger's saying, "You can't open that report in front of my aunt. Can I please talk to you alone, Columbo?" Mrs. Buckner really wants to know. She's like, she's sort of figured out Quincy might have been investigating Mr. Logan. Mrs. Buckner says she found a report in a pocket of Mr. Buckner's that was like an investigation of Mr. Logan. So she has figured out that Quincy does some of this private eye stuff on the side for Mr. Buckner. And then the cop tells Columbo this is the only thing that Junior was trying to steal from that apartment. And Columbo sees it, and Junior's like, can we please talk alone? You can't let my aunt see this. And the photo is a photo that Junior made in his dark room that shows David and Valerie together in some romantic way. So it shows, DL, the deceased. So the cop is very careless with it, and the aunt like grabs it out of his hands, right, to see it. Is that what happens, Paul?
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, he shows Quincy's bank book for the large deposits, like this little book, like a bank book. You put your little. I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Because it looks like he's trying to put the bite on his own boss.
Yeah. So anyhow, Doris sees the photo. And I think she asks everyone to leave at that moment. Columbo kind of lingers, and he overhears Junior talking to his aunt to say, "I knew, I didn't, I think I tried to," he says, "I tried to stop them. Mr. Logan knew too." And she's like, "Oh, that's why DL never liked you, Roger. Oh, I'm so sorry." And Roger has the creepiest little smile on his face.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
He's looking towards the door, too, because he knows Columbo's still there, or he hopes he is. And then he hears the door shut. So, yeah, I noted that, too. I love his look. Yeah. He's, like, vicious.
She's the worst. But, yeah, this is, like, very complicated stuff. This plot.
If they showed him doctoring the prince, then you see it. But they must have cut it out, or they didn't have it. I don't know.
Okay. Well, there's just 2 scenes left. Let's wrap this up here. So next day, or I don't know, a day or 2 later, Roger's at the plant, and now he's dressed serious. He's not wearing like his leopard print pirate shirts. He's wearing like regular clothes. or business attire. And the male secretary is like, "Hey, Junior," or something, and it is clearly upsets him. It's like a very awkward encounter. Roger clearly doesn't want to be called Junior anymore. He goes to check on Valerie. She's been fired. She has no idea why.
He denies any of it.
Yeah.
Like he didn't know.
He's like, "Oh, you're just going to get to be, didn't you want to be with your mom in this other Arizona?" Or I forget what he says. And then he goes into his uncle's old office and he's redecorating. This is like a classic, murderer mistake. It's like take over the office too quickly, like start redecorating. And Columbo and Logan show up, and Logan's like, "I've been fired too. I don't understand what's going on. I haven't been able to get a hold of Doris. Do you have any idea, Roger, why she's upset with me?" And Roger's like, "I don't know." And Columbo's like, "Well, would you like to come with us to the cabin to see her?" And Roger says no. And Columbo's like, "All right, well, Mr. Logan and I are going to go." And Logan's like, "Yeah, I really want to talk to Doris, face to face." And so Roger's like, "Oh, I better come. I better come with you guys." They head up together, and then the last scene, they're back in that tram where Columbo went earlier and was very afraid of the heights and everything. And when they get to the tram, there's a cop, his buddy, who has a bag for Columbo. He's like, "Here's the bag." Oh, and the tram operator, did you recognize him, Paul?
No, his name is Mike Lally, but no.
He's a little Columbo regular. He pops in these small roles.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And he even has that same name in a later episode, the one where there's a magician. It's called Now You See Him.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's one of my favorite episodes. He's in that one. He's in several others. I think he plays a homeless man in one of them with Dick Van Dyke. Anyhow, yeah, we'll see him. We'll see more of him.
Is he the short guy with the white hair?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, he's great. All right, so the cop hands them a bag right before they get onto the tram. So Columbo, Junior, and Logan get onto the tram. They've got this bag, and they start going up into the air. And Columbo's opening the bag. It turns out to be the cigar box from the crash, or at least it appears to be the cigar box from the crash. And Roger looks very uncomfortable as soon as he sees it.
Yeah.
And so Logan's like, "Oh, so it was just a car accident." Columbo's like, "Yeah, it looks like it was just a car accident." And then this is where Columbo starts explaining the plot. This is where I was like, "Oh, okay, I get it all." He's like, "I know why you were fired, because of these reports that Quincy made about you." And he's like, "I used to have this crazy theory about Roger, creating this bomb in this cigar box and, trying to kill his uncle so that he wouldn't get pushed out of the business or whatever." And Columbo's watching Roger's reaction. Roger's obviously very uncomfortable, and he wants to get rid of the cigar box. And in this moment, it dawns on Logan too, oh, there really was a bomb in this cigar box because of Roger's reaction. And then Columbo drops all the cigars onto the floor of the tram. And so Roger's trying to find the one that's a bomb before it goes off. And then, Roger realizes that Columbo figured it out and that this is not the bomb. This is another box that he made to trap Roger with. And I like how Roger kind of freaks out in the scene, and then he starts laughing hysterically, and he gives Columbo his little genius medal.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I've missed the dialogue because I was so consumed with Roddy's behavior. He was so good.
Yeah.
Putting his tongue on his teeth and, looking all around and trying to keep it together and shouting at Columbo. And he's so this scene almost makes up for the whole what preceded it.
It is a really good scene. Absolutely.
Yeah. One thing with the editing here, they take off the black tape. There's two pieces of black tape that hold it together. Columbo pulls it off and Roddy holds on to it. And then within a couple minutes, they're both back on.
Uh-oh.
It's really bad. And they should have this like close up of it. And I was like, I didn't think I caught it the first time, but the second time it's very evident.
Oh dear.
But
maybe there was like too much bourbon being passed around the editing room.
I don't know. I wonder if because I watched Claudine, the Lester and Tina Pine. Her first name before she married Lester was Tina Roma, and she was an actress, kind of a street smart character in a couple of Samuel Fuller's early movies. The Baron of Arizona with Vincent Price, which is really good, and another one called is about newspapers, and that one was really good too. And then she went on to this writing career. And Claudine is like probably one of the best films of the 70s that I've seen. Very different than, the French Connection, The Godfather. It's about real people and the welfare system. It's got James Earl Jones, really cool hip soundtrack. And then Poppy has some weird stuff in it with the dad hitting his kids. But that was very common at the time as well. But both of those scripts, were really strong movies too. I like Claudine more than Poppy. So I wonder what happened, like what was the disconnect with this, how things were rolling? Was it Edward M. Abrams? I do know that Stephen Bucknow, gosh, what's his name? He's like a story editor person on this who went on to do like tons of like Hill Street Blues. And, he said there would be shouting going on between. I probably mentioned this the last episode, so I won't mention it again. But I wonder what the disconnect was. I wonder if Lester and Tina did what they could and had to do other stuff. Maybe there was conflicts between what they thought was strong, and then they just said, "Okay, here, you do what you want with it now." I wonder. Maybe they don't know this world. Maybe this is because it's a mystery and it's not what they usually write. But I think Lester wrote a lot of different TV stuff, so
yeah, who knows? Something happened. It's happened in at least one or two other Columbos where they have to reuse some of the same footage. Like they didn't film it twice. They just replayed the same thing twice.
Oh yeah.
I always wonder, like, something must have gone wrong somewhere in this process. Who knows where?
Yeah.
But Columbo and Logan have a nice like last look to one another when Roger's like sitting on the floor and like freaking out and laughing. Yeah. It's a cool ending for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like the sparring that goes on with Columbo, I think Roddy was a little more on point the first half of the film than Columbo, than Peter Falk in terms of acting. I feel like when they're together, they're like when Roddy is, sitting behind the table with the cool lamp and he's got the suit on and they're like, well, we're going to go now if you want to come. And Roddy's like, oh yeah, I want to go. And then Columbo, his reaction, he says, I think I wrote it down. He said, fine, I've got the car outside. He's Peter Falk is super quick with no feeling. That's how he lures him into the trap. He knows I got him. It's like his acting's so good. He's not like, it's different because he's so, there's no feeling in that response because it's almost like he doesn't want to show anything to this guy. Like he wants to make sure the trap is going to stay set. And I thought about that the second time, but the acting before when he's got the cold, he's not as like, there's something lacking in it. I felt, and maybe I'm just putting that on him, maybe he was putting it at, 100%. But the character of Roger Stanford, him hanging out with Columbo while he's interviewing different people, he's obnoxious like that. But at the same time, I guess you wouldn't have, there's too much explanation. And as the guilty person, some of the actors do too much of that. And so some of the characters, but this one was just felt like too much. Like he's like right on top of Columbo the whole time. And it seems like a dead giveaway. If he was that smart, he would like step back a little bit and spy on them or something. Right. He wouldn't like be front and center, I feel like, as a devious crazy guy, you know. He does have that
Right.
arrogance where he could do some of that, but it just felt too much. You know, I felt it was just too much.
Yeah. Not quite as believable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, should we should we rate this one, Paul, on a scale of 1 to 10? Where would you put this guy?
Yeah, this one is low. This one's probably like 6.5 or 7, maybe. I loved all these players, you know, like the writers, the actors, even, you know, especially like Quincy. They gave him the name Murphy in the credits instead of Quincy, which I thought was so strange. It's played by Lawrence Cook. He's the the security, the driver / private eye. He was in a film where he was nominated by the NAACP for his lead role in a movie called The Spook Who Sat by the Door, which came out a year later. And he's phenomenal in that movie. And the movie was actually confiscated by the FBI. Oh, wow. Yeah, because he plays this guy who works who gets enlisted by the CIA. He's the first person to be drafted by the CIA and pass all their tests and stay in it. And he stays in the CIA for 5 years. And then he leaves the CIA and he goes and trains people from his old neighborhood in Chicago. It's based on a book by Sam Greenlee, and he was also the writer of the script, and he also produced it. And Lawrence Cook is such an interesting film, but it was taken out of the theaters a week. No, it was like it came out on a Friday and it was gone by a Monday.
Wow.
It was all over. It like one of the big companies paid for the rest of the film to be made, like Herbie Hancock to the soundtrack, because they knew that there was like what they call black exploitation films. A lot of people have mixed feelings about that genre term, and I understand that. But it was it influenced a lot of people. One of the directors I worked with, he made a film, and it definitely inspired from it. Robert Townsend, famous actor and director, did The Hollywood Shuffle. That changed his life, he said, that film.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so the FBI were afraid that people would get ideas to rise up against the government, to train and fight back. That movie has a lot of questions more than it does answers, and I think that's the whole point of that book. I can't speak for the writer at all. He's a very smart, creative person. But Lawrence Cook, who played Quincy in this, was amazing. In this one, he's a small role. He's in a lot of scenes, but he does a good job of like staring at Roger when Roger's going on and on in his face about, you're so clever, Quincy, and then he even looks at the guy who cleans their car, Farrell, kind of suspiciously. So I just thought I'd give a nod to him as an actor. Mm-hmm. He also wrote a script, but he was in a lot of movies. It wasn't the biggest career, but The Spook Who Sat by the Door is certainly one of the another probably top movie of the 70s, I think, in some ways. Very interesting. So yeah, I mean, I was so curious to see all these different elements to this episode because I started watching all of these people's work before I watched the episode. And so I was very disappointed in a lot of it. But I guess that's television. Television is a grind. I guess they had a smaller amount of time. So what'd you think?
Yeah, I also would not give it. I mean, I think I would give it like, I don't know, like a 5, maybe a 6.
Okay.
Maybe a 6. So this, okay, I like the Columbo in the outdoors and the beautiful scenery out there near Palm Springs. I like the music. I love the last scene. But like I said, I did not like the plot. It's very complicated. It's not easy to follow. The set, like I said, it's kind of dreary. It's set in like offices and like a plant, a chemical plant, and even the house set is kind of dreary. There's no fun. Like even, I forgot to mention at the top, like the drink and the snack. There's no food anywhere in this episode. So we're having popcorn because that's what you have when you watch a movie or a show. But there's just that one little club scene where he and Valerie are sipping a drink. So, it's lacking a little bit of that fun that I like to, I like and appreciate seeing the food from the 70s, what they ate back then.
Well, we could have smoked cigars. I thought of that actually, but I don't think we would have to do the show outside because that wouldn't fly in this house to do that. But they did. There was a scene where he asked Columbo if he would like a drink, and he was like, he didn't even say no, but he mouthed it like, oh, like he looked down like, oh no. But I was almost wondering if it's like he had a hangover when he reacted to that because of the cold, because he had that cold,
Yeah. And then, the last thing about this, my rating for it today was, like we mentioned already, Valerie Bishop, the performance just felt a little forced at times. So that was kind of disappointing. Yes. This is one that I've watched. Like I said, I probably only watched it like 3 times because that's not much for me. Yeah. and I only watched it the 3rd time because, for the podcast, like this isn't one that brings me much like comfort like the other ones do.
Yeah. I mean, Anne Francis. Yeah. I feel the same way. I was reading an interview with an actress from an HBO show called, it's based on H.P. Lovecraft stuff. And she was saying that they had rehearsals and it's television. And she said that's so incredible. I'm pretty sure she was saying that they did. And that wouldn't surprise me because HBO's television, and it's really strong. It's generally really good stuff. And I think with most TV that's not HBO, that they don't have much time for rehearsal, or they don't have any time with the crew, with the set. And a lot of films do that. A lot of the smarter directors will do that. And that is probably, they probably could have gotten Anne doing a better scene, and I think that's another thing that goes along with television, making it more difficult, is that you don't have that either. But you need that director who can say, "Hey, just relax in this scene. You don't play it that hard. Just go to Roddy and tell him, why do this? Let's not do this. But but you're not dying, or whatever."
Yeah. There you go, Paul. You got the director's touch right there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's hard to tell, because if they don't say yes or no, I imagine some people who get in director's position don't know how to approach stars, without them saying, "You telling me how to act? Go away. You're an editor." Which I'm sure have, dozens of actors, big or small, do that kind of stuff, which is to their detriment.
Oh, absolutely.
Incidentally, when Peter Falk was starting out in the 50s, he did act on Broadway with Phoenix Theater with Roddy McDowall, Robert Culp, and Jerry Stiller. They did Ostrovsky's Diary of a Scoundrel, like in the early 50s together. So,
how cool! Gosh, the small world.
Yeah, and he probably remembered, hey, let's get Roddy on here. He'd be a good bad guy.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Paul, do you have a true/false quiz for me from this episode?
Well, it's from Columbo. It's actually from another episode. It's the one we mentioned earlier. The diary. What was it called? The Ransom of a Dead Man. So in that, the main culprit that Columbo is trying to snare was Leslie Williams, played by Lee Grant. Mm-hmm. And in that, Leslie Williams, she shoots her husband, Paul Williams. And so I just wanted to say that I was in an independent film where my name was Paul Williams, and I was also shot and killed in that film.
Oh my goodness, Paul, you always get me with these. I never guessed right. I'm going to say that's true.
Really?
Is it true? Am I right? Yeah.
You are correct. Wrong. You are correct. Yeah, you're correct.
Yes, right. Paul, what was the film?
It was called The Education of a Negro. Oh, yeah, cool. It was the director Ryan Culver. He wrote and directed it. He was influenced by The Spook Who Sat by the Door.
Oh, awesome! Yeah, that's what you're just talking about. Very cool. Where can we watch that? Where can we see it?
The Spook Who Sat by the Door.
No, the one with you.
Oh yeah, The Education of a Negro. You can on Apple TV. You can watch it. It's on Amazon. Yeah, it's on most of those Vudu. I think it's on all those video on demand platforms. So
yay. Okay, well we'll add links to that in the show notes so that people can check you out as Paul Williams.
That scene though.
Oh, is it a big spoiler?
No, it's not. Spoiler? Not really.
Okay. Okay, oops. It's still good, folks. You want to watch it. Oh, awesome. Okay, well, why don't we say thank you to Maxime Gervais for our theme song, Columbo.
Thank you, Maxine.
Thank you. And if you'd like to add to our conversation, we'd love to hear from you. You can email us at trenchcoatcigar@gmail.com. You could also find us on Instagram at trenchcoatcigar. And Paul, just one more thing. Thanks for listening.
Woohoo!
Woo!
T'avais un plan sans faille, pensez à chaque détail. L'inspecteur Colombo pensera toujours en dehors de la boîte. Toujours un cousin qui a eu un lavoto, qui a fait de la